Hey everyone, Jeff here, and as promised, I'm back with more YouTube videos, and this time we're going to do a collection update. I'm going to show you a ton of stuff that I've purchased for my collection and stuff that's come in for review over the last, 6 to 8 weeks. I'm not going to waste any time, let's jump right into it. First of all, from Warner Brothers, I just got these in the other day. It's a Clint Eastwood 4K collection. We got 3 different Clint Eastwood movies on 4K. First up, Dirty Harry. Then we've got The Outlaw, Josie Wales. And then we've got Pale Rider, all in 4K slipcovers. They don't come with Blu-rays, just 4K and digital codes. And I want to give a shout out to my friends over at There Are Too Many Movies, the podcast. They actually got to do a special feature for Dirty Harry, which is like a life goal for me to ever be interviewed for a special feature on a disc. I've had an essay on a disc before, but never a special feature. Congrats to those guys. So if you check it out, check out their podcast and check out their special feature on this disc, which also has a ton of features, like 4 hours worth of stuff. Next up from Sony, I got a couple 4K steelbooks. Now, these aren't new 4K releases, but they were previously only available as part of the Columbia Classics box sets. And now you can get both Stripes here, pretty cool steelbook. I don't mind the artwork on this, it's fun. And Gandhi on 4K UHD. So these are both available now. If you wanted these movies and you didn't want to buy the Columbia Classics box set, it's good to see that Sony is giving some of those movies their own standalone releases, because stuff like Stripes and Gandhi, or especially like Lawrence of Arabia, people really deserve to have that without needing to get the box sets, and especially because a lot of those go out of print and they can be kind of hard to find and get pricey. So good to see them doing standalone releases like this. Over the last couple of weeks from A24, I've got a few new releases. We've got The Brutalist here. This is the 4K. We've got Sing Sing. This is the Blu-ray release of this. And then I've got Baby Girl on 4K. So A24 continuing to do great work on their physical media releases. They've pretty much got their own label at this point. It seems like, whatever deal they had before with maybe Lionsgate is probably done. They've been doing all their own physical media, including movies like Heretic, and I saw the TV Glow, a lot of their recent stuff. But I did watch Baby Girl. Very interesting. Very interesting. My wife likes these smut books, she calls them, and she said this was the closest thing that a movie's ever come to kind of portraying one of those books in a positive, actual authentic light. So if you're into those, or your wife is, or whoever, check out Baby Girl. I thought the movie was actually pretty good. I haven't watched these two yet, but they're on my list. I really just have to find, 4 hours or whatever to watch The Brutalist. Also in from Sony, the new Paddington movie, Paddington in Peru. I'll probably watch this with my kids at one point. It doesn't have a slipcover, it's just Blu-ray and digital code. But if it's anything like the other two Paddington movies, Paddington 2 especially, which is like one of the greatest movies ever made, this one will be fun to watch. And then I was contacted by some filmmakers who wanted me to check out their movie, and I realized their movie was already released by Vinegar Syndrome and their OCN distribution partner labels. So I asked if they would send me a copy, and they did. This is the slipcover, so it's really hard to see, but Hippo. Hippo is the name of the movie. And here's the inside artwork, and let me tell you a little bit about it. It says, loosely based on the Greek tragedy Hippolytus, I hope I said that right. Hippo examines the coming of age of two step-siblings, Hippo, a video game-addicted teenager, and Buttercup, a Hungarian Catholic immigrant with a love of classical music in Jesus. So I watched the trailer. I was like, guys, this looks super interesting, strange, weird, right up my alley. So Hippo. If you want to check out something new and different, Hippo is the film. It came out 2023, so it's fairly new. And Vinegar Syndrome still has these on their website with this limited edition slipcover. Now, a few weeks back for President's Day, I believe, so we're going back to like February here, but I purchased a bunch of movies from Oscilloscope Laboratories, which is a smaller independent physical media label, but does some really cool releases. I'll show you a few of what I got. I loved their sale. It was called F This President Sale, and they had everything 50% off. So I bought a bunch of stuff. I got God and Country, which just sounded like a really interesting documentary. It looks at the implications of Christian nationalism and how it distorts not only our own constitutional republic, but Christianity itself. Very relevant right now. I also got Combat Obscura. This is another documentary, very raw from what I've heard, with Warfare coming out recently, which is a very raw, realistic war movie. I'm interested in this stuff about like the Afghanistan, Iraq war, all the stuff in the Middle East, because it just felt like such a weird thing that happened, and it was so brutal and so raw. And I don't think it gets talked about in the same light as some other wars, because it didn't have much public support, and it kind of dragged on for years. But what these guys and these women went through is just crazy. So I'm not enjoying the documentaries, but it's an interesting look at what they all went through. And I'm glad that it's, people are shining a light on this, because there's a lot of veterans out there from this time period who I don't think are, getting the credit or the support because of the situation. But they didn't have a choice, and they did what they had to do, and it was brutal. I also picked up from them Coherence. This is one of the best time travel movies out there. If you've never seen this movie, check it out. I'd only watched it on streaming. I had no idea it had a Blu-ray. I saw it during the sale, had to have it. Also a Christmas classic, Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale. If you've never seen this, it is a wild, wild Christmas movie mixed with like horror. If you like Krampus, you'll probably like this. It's better than Krampus in my opinion. And then I also got this film, Sometimes I Think About Dying. This was recommended to me. A few people talked about it. It's a blind buy for me. I know nothing about it, like at all. But everyone said, hey, you should watch this. It's kind of surreal and weird. And I like that kind of stuff. So that's what I picked up from the Oscilloscope Laboratories sale. They have a ton of great titles on their website, including classics. We Need to Talk About Kevin is one that they have. They have Dear Zachary, one of the most devastating documentaries of all time. But if you've never seen it, they have the Blu-ray release for that. So a lot of cool stuff on their site. Now here's some miscellaneous review copies. I've got A Real Pain. This came in recently on Blu-ray. I like the slipcover on this a lot, and I loved this movie. The minute I watched it, I knew Kieran Culkin was a lock for that award. I wish it won the screenplay award. I think it should have, but A Real Pain's a great little character study, very human film. Not like what we get these days. So I really enjoyed that change of pace. Also got Heart Eyes here, the new slasher directed by Josh Rubin. He's actually writing a short blurb for my book and has checked it out and given me some feedback. So thank you, Josh. And Heart Eyes, his film, is now available on Blu-ray. I've also got One of Them Days. I watched this one with my wife the other day. I mean, it's pretty funny. It's basically like Friday for female. It's a female Gen Z Friday, realistically. It kind of is just literally about one of them days, and they, the crazy stuff that happens and the crazy characters you meet. And it's pretty fun though. Keke Palmer and SZA are a great combo. From Umbrella Entertainment, I've got Lars and the Real Girl. I had this film already on Blu-ray, but when I saw this slipcover, I had to have this one too. They sent it over. It's a great movie. If you've never seen it, it's very interesting. It's very different. It's very weird, but like I said, I love that stuff. From Scream Factory, we've got Humanoids from the Deep. I know nothing about this. They sent this over with a little promo package, and I said, okay, I'll check it out. You're telling me monsters in the ocean, anything related to that world? I'm in. Jaws, Deep Blue Sea, you name it. And from Synapse, I got the standard 4K edition of Trick or Treat, which I didn't get the limited edition. That sold out really quick. If you have that, props to you. But I did manage to get the standard edition, which is a really cool pickup. And speaking of Deep Blue Sea, I did get Deep Blue Sea on 4K from Arrow Video. I like that it's a slipcover and the hard case. So you get both. You don't just have like the paper that they usually put on the back. It's an actual slipcover. I hope they do more of that. That's much nicer, because I always rip the paper off the back and I get rid of it. But I like the slipcover and then the hard case. That's a better way to do it. From Paramount, I've got Tommy Boy on 4K. Love this movie. Steelbook's pretty sweet. Here's the inside. Here's the back of it. They sent a whole promo pack over, which was really cool. It had like Callahan Auto Parts pen and a t-shirt, and it had a little clip-on tie, all the classics. So that was a really cool one. And then from Sony here, this is the new Robert Zemeckis film. We'll talk about Robert Zemeckis again in a little bit, but Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. I haven't seen this, but I've heard it's like shot from just one angle, like it's just shot from one room, and it just watches people over generations, which is interesting, unique, definitely out there. Now some stuff from Kino Lorber, because they've been cranking it out lately. I've got The Godsend here on Blu-ray. This is from their Kino Cult line. Sounded very interesting. Not one that had been on my radar, but I guess it's about like some sort of folky horror type stuff. It definitely gets religious, supernatural, so right up my alley. And like I said, Kino's been cranking it out lately, so let's run through some of their new releases. Donovan's Reef, John Wayne here on 4K with the slipcover. Also John Wayne, The Sands of Iwo Jima on 4K. Fun little World War II movie. These are all rescanned, 4K mastered. Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead. This was kind of off of that string of like Tarantino-esque movies that everybody wanted to make, but this is one of the better ones. Again, new on 4K. We got Sneakers on 4K for the first time, fully remastered from a 4K scan, 35 millimeter camera negative. We got Foul Play, Goldie Hawn, Chevy Chase on 4K. Again, full new scan from the negative. They've been doing a ton. Career Opportunities, the John Hughes film. Here, this is like a real throwback comedy. I think it all takes place in like Target. I think Target is like a main point of this, but it has a great cast in it. Uncle Buck, a classic. John Candy, 4K. Can't really go wrong with that. Again, scan from the negative. Little combo pack here called Peril and Distress. We get Agatha Christie's Endless Night and Picture Mommy Dead, two terrifying thrillers. This is more like from the cult line. This is Studio Canal. Two movies, both in 4K. I've also got The General's Daughter, John Travolta, 4K release. Again, 4K scan of the original camera negative. This is an interesting one. Daylight here with Sylvester Stallone. They actually like paused this and put it on hold because they were having some rights issues, I guess, but some of them got shipped out there. They got shipped out to reviewers, and so I do have it, but I believe this should be coming back eventually. And then wrapping it up with some more Chris Farley and David Spade, Black Sheep. This came to me on the same day that I got Tommy Boy, so it was a hell of a John Candy. It was a hell of a Chris Farley and David Spade day that day, and I'm so excited that some of these comedies from the 90s are getting 4K releases like this. Now, last but not least, I know I said I'd give you more Zemeckis. Well, What Lies Beneath just came out on 4K from Scream Factory. I've not seen this, but I've been on a little bit of a Robert Zemeckis run lately. I watched Death Becomes Her, and that was the first time watch for me, believe it or not. I bought the 4K disc from Scream Factory, and I loved it. This, I've heard, is a great underrated movie, a great thriller. This is brand new 4K transfer from the 35 millimeter camera negative, all approved by the cinematographer, and the Blu-ray disc is loaded with special features. I mean, look at all those. So very excited to watch this. This is on the top of my watch list right now. So I think that's everything that I've got recently. Purchases, review copies. I probably missed some stuff. I've been watching a ton of movies. I just watched Cruising from Arrow Video, their 4K release of the Al Pacino movie. That was an incredible transfer. Looked amazing. If you want a cool movie, I loaned that out to my brother, so I don't have it. I also watched Death Becomes Her. Like I said, that's a great 4K transfer from Scream Factory. I just watched The Devil in a Blue Dress the other night from Criterion Collection on 4K, that Denzel movie. I watched it because Michael B. Jordan put it in his top 4 for Letterboxd when he was interviewed. It was so good. I love Denzel, but I love that neo-noir. It was such a great movie, and the Criterion 4K was pristine, beautiful. So highly recommend that one as well. So I'll put as many links to all this stuff as I can in the video description. If you want to check them out, go for it. Let me know if you have any questions about any of these. I ran through a lot of stuff pretty quickly, but I had a lot to cover. And hopefully, we're back on a regular schedule of, 1 or 2 of these a month, talking about stuff that I picked up, new additions to my collection, anything that's going on in my life. Hope you enjoyed the video. Glad to be back here on YouTube. And I will definitely talk to you guys soon with more videos, more 4K, like mini 4K reviews. I'll mix those in where I can. I kind of mentioned a few of the transfers here that were good. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing from now on. So I hope you enjoy it. It gives you an inside look at what's going on with me. And of course, make sure you check out my Instagram page. Make sure you head over to jeffrauseo.com, my Substack. Check out my blog. All those links will be in the pinned comment and in the description as well. So I appreciate that. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and stay healthy out there. And I'll talk to you all soon.